We cannot allow unelected bureaucrats to summarily remove our human rights under the basis that they know better for us, whether it be in any manner regarding our human rights. These are sovereign rights. These are inalienable rights that man has as a free person, been part of our culture for thousands of years, and now they have the technology to be able to control anywhere we go with track and trace and digital passports, cameras everywhere. They're just using bureaucratic powers and the words of politicians to basically violate justice and human rights. Now, how long are we going to put up with it? They're now going to bring in digital money, digital wallets. It's well advanced. They've even told us they're going to do it. Then they'll say initially that they'll keep cash as well, and then of course little by little they will remove cash and they'll be able to control anything you're allowed to buy. If you buy anything you're not supposed to buy or do any transaction that they don't get money out of or they don't approve of, they can come around and pick you up and throw you in prison like they've done with Assange, with no judicial process even perhaps. So it's very important we all understand that governments have to be accountable just as we do. There are political solutions, there are economic solutions to all of our problems, and I think it's time we as the people acknowledge that it's the government's responsibility to make peace and prosperity and friendship with all other nations a reality. Julian Assange will go down in history as being possibly the greatest Australian that's ever lived. He's certainly the greatest journalist that ever lived, and one of the reasons for his phenomenal impact on politics and human rights is the fact his innovation of encrypted technology so people could whistleblow on government crimes and other crimes. So it was that innovation in the creation of WikiLeaks that gave WikiLeaks access to information of terrible crimes by public officials, which to this day had never been investigated and prosecuted properly. And of course they'll come out with a whole lot of hogwash saying, oh, what we did was a mistake. Well, some mistake. $1 trillion down the drain, how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people killed wrongfully, unnecessarily. In every one of these instances there could have been political settlements, and the countries that were the victims of being destroyed would have agreed to anything reasonable from the Western world in terms of peace and trade. They don't want peace and trade. They want control of trade. They want war. It's profitable, and they use the war to get control of trade and to be able to make billions, if not trillions of dollars out of public money. And this is the kind of thing that we need a debate on. It might be necessary, it might be justified. I don't pretend to have the answers. But I'm asking you, did they give us the choice of where... Are they giving us the choice of whether Assange is set free? Are they giving him the opportunity of a jury trial? Did they ask us whether we agreed with them doing what they did in Iraq, or Syria, or Afghanistan, or Libya? Did they ask us? Was there a plebiscite? No, it was just done by unelected public officials, allegedly experts, possibly with vested interest, politicians, possibly with vested interest. But none of these wars were we told the truth, or were we given the opportunity to decide? The Solidarity Choir.
That's a good cause.
It's a very interesting thing that the trade union movement has been instrumental in extricating us from numerous past wars that were not good for us or anybody else. We've got a lot to thank the trade union movement for when it comes to peace on earth. That's why we're here. We're for peace, justice and freedom. The way they treat Assange is the same as the way they're going to treat you and me, given half a chance. So it's very important we the people make the government understand that we are free and we are sovereign, and they have no right to tell us what to do within reason, and they have no right to keep us in prison unless we are convicted by a jury of our peers. Even if we've broken the law, a jury can have the matter thrown out of court and we must be freed. Because the laws are not made by the people, they're made by politicians. And many politicians receive enormous donations from businessmen, big corporations that make some awful things and actually donate millions of dollars to politicians. It really should be illegal. If you see something being done wrong, you should feel compelled to try and remedy it. Well, I certainly do. And we can all see that Assange has been wrongfully treated, I think within reason. If you take the view that he's a terrorist, he should be shot, as I think one of the American politicians have come out and said he should be assassinated. That's a great way to deal with making the world a better place, isn't it? Just anyone that says anything, does anything you don't like, you just kill them. And they call themselves standing up for democracy. What a farce. What a farce. What democratic process is there involved in anything that they're doing? In fact, it's almost, you know, if they had their way, it'd all be done secretly. Anyway, that's probably a bit wrong for me to say that, but you know, bills are put up for debate, and but we don't really get access to the debates, and we don't really get information as to what transpires in the Parliament. We get an hour of question time, but of course the business of government is done behind closed doors. And I don't know, maybe in some cases that's good. I don't know, you tell me. I think I'm a great believer in having governments and rules, law, as much as possible by consensus, or at least a very broad public support. But there's none of that. There's none of that for Julian Assange. They're just going to call him a terrorist and throw him in prison. Andrew Wilkie's been heroic. He was an intelligence analyst. He was the first person to come out, as far as I understand, and tell the public that the information the government was telling us about the reason we needed to invade Iraq was a pack of lies. And he is a government intelligence analyst. So, I mean, why would he be telling us that if he didn't believe it? But nonetheless, we invaded Iraq and we blew up, destroyed the country, possibly killed somewhere between 1 and 2 million people. And now they've come out and said, well, it was a mistake. So I don't worry if you're one of those 2 million people that are dead. The country's got more problems than you could poke a stick out now as a result of the invasion. They go on about the invasion of Ukraine. What about the invasion of Iraq, which was far, far worse than anything that the Russians have done in Ukraine? So we need to get real. And the government can think that everybody's hoodwinked, but we're not hoodwinked. Been tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people demonstrating all over Australia and all over the world, telling governments we don't approve of some of the terrible things they do. And they ignore us. And if people in high positions in academia or they come out and say things that are contrary to what the government says, they cancel them, they demonise them, they lose their job, they get kicked out of the university. We've even had situations of doctors being deregistered for having an honest opinion. Is that the sort of country you want to live in? A doctor is not entitled to a medical opinion? Shame. Shame on you, Canberra. Anyway, we have observed one thing. We've been here now for over 3 years every Friday evening. And the amount of people, even young people, old people, coming along and giving us a wave and saying, we support you, we support Assange. So we know the Australian people support Assange. It's just the government that doesn't support Assange.
Welcome to the 168th week of Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gatherings. We can all learn from Julian Assange and from how the establishment has reacted to his multi-award-winning truth-telling journalism. We all need to learn from Julian Assange to put an end to the corruption of democracy. Learning about Julian Assange reveals many terrible crimes. The lying of corrupt politicians and the media to bring about war is a terrible crime. The covering up of war crimes is a terrible crime. The arbitrary detention of Julian is a terrible crime. His political persecution is a terrible crime. His torture is a terrible crime. All these terrible crimes can only continue if there is public support for these crimes. We must all end our support for terrible crimes. We can do that by helping to free Julian Assange. Julian is incompatible with corruption. That is why he is in prison. That is why we must free him. We must create a system that is free of corruption. We can do it. We must do it. Established systems are resistant to change. Their hierarchical, top-down structures of control make them able to resist change initiated from outside. It is virtually impossible to fix these corrupted systems because people who gain power within the hierarchies are not motivated to relinquish their power. These old corrupted systems must be replaced by new systems, which we create from scratch. Julian Assange created WikiLeaks from scratch to implement scientific journalism. He did not set about reforming the mainstream media. Reforming the mainstream media is a lost cause because those working within it are controlled by unaccountable top-down power. Reforming our government is likewise a lost cause. Reforming the judiciary also appears to be a lost cause. This is not to say that we cannot learn from these systems. We can. They have their good points. But we need to develop ways to prevent corruption. We must use the best available knowledge to create new systems that work for the human rights of all. And that means there must always be real democratic oversight where ordinary people have the final authority. We need to ensure that people can always have free speech so that we can all be truthfully informed. We have learned much from Julian Assange, and with his freedom, we will learn much more. Free Julian Assange!
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 Free Julian Assange! How good is life in Sydney, folks? We've got a real treat for you all. We've got the New South Wales Trade Union Choir, heroic trade union that has done so much to save us from terrible wars in the past. It's been the trade union standing up to the government that have created a lot of peace in the world, and I pay tribute to them. And the Solidarity Choir is a very lovely choir, and they're going to come and sing for us all, remind us of our shared humanity and our shared need to stand up for justice and human decency. Does anybody out there like to hear a choir? Yay! And aren't they here? They're looking beautiful, and they're going to sound even more beautiful.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Gadigal people of the nation of Eora,
and all the first Australians who've made this place their home.
and any action done in our name, they never keep the land that's in their bones. We acknowledge the tradition of the stories. We pay respect to elders past and present, and all Indigenous here. We pay our respects. We acknowledge injustices done in our name. We acknowledge. We acknowledge. We acknowledge. We acknowledge. We will sing out, we will sing out, we will sing, we will not we acknowledge. We will sing out, we will sing out, we will sing, we will not we acknowledge. We will sing out, we will sing out, we will sing out, we will sing, we will. We acknowledge this land is Aboriginal land. We shall not give up the fight, we have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight, we have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. We shall not give up the fight till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. Together we'll have victory, hand holding hand, hand holding hand, hand holding hand. Together we'll have victory, hand holding hand, hand holding hand, hand holding hand. We shall not give up the fight till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. We shall not give up the fight till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. Till Assange is free. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started.
I'd like to finish our set with unity. That's what we need.
Bound together through the land, keep the spirit, keep the way. Brothers, sisters, make a stand. Unity will win the day. Raise your banners high, strength to strength and line by line. Unity must never die. Raise your banners high. Those who stand against all strife, those who stand for liberty, fight to win a better life, fight to keep the future free. Raise your banners high, strength to strength and line by line. Unity must never die. Raise your banners high. Though the struggle brings you pain, though the struggle brings you tears, ours will be the final gain. We shall hear the victory cheers. Raise your banners high, strength to strength and line by line. Unity must never die. Raise your banners high. Raise your banners high, strength to strength and line by line. Unity must never die. Raise your banners high.
Wow, wasn't that something that was so beautiful? I was moved to tears. I'd like, on behalf of all of the people that come here to support Assange, we're not a group, we're just individuals, but on behalf of all of we individuals, we'd like to thank you very, very much for coming. We are deeply honoured that you should pay tribute to Assange and justice and freedom, and it's just beyond beautiful to hear you. We've been here for over 3 years, but this is a highlight of what we've done, and thank you on behalf of all of us.
Thanks for all your efforts over that time.
We love you guys coming.
I mean, it's
You guys make it all worthwhile when you turn up.
It's such an important issue.
Absolutely. And the singing was
Oh,
just
singing.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Everyone, there's an initiative going around from Hello Benson, and it's in reference to a video that Julian Assange's boys were watching, and they overheard this video accidentally. And Gabriel said to his mum, Stella, "Mama, did that lady say they wanted to kill Daddy?"
Hi, Gabriel and Max. My name's Karen, and I want to free your dad. Free Julian Assange.
Hi Gabriel and Max, my name is Maddie and I want to free your dad, free Julian Assange.
Hi Gabriel and Max, my name is Roger Barsoni and I want to free your dad, free Julian Assange.
Hi Gabriel and Max, I'm one of the yellow ribbons, free Julian, free your dad, free Julian Assange.
Hello Gabriel and Matt, we want to bring your father Julian Assange back home. We won't stop till he comes back from England. Thank you.
Hi Gabriel and Max, my name is Derek and I want to free your dad. Your dad is a very courageous man.
Hi Gabriel and Max, my name is Lockie and I want to free your dad. Free Julian Assange. One day he will be freed and we'll celebrate together. Take care.
Hi Gabriel and Max, I'm Greg Simone and I want to free your dad, free Julian Assange.
Hi Gabriel and Max, my name's Diane. I want to free your dad as soon as possible and we will do it. Free Julian Assange.
Hey Gabriel and Max, my name is Paul and I want to free your dad, free Julian Assange.
Hi Gabriel and Max, my name is Billy Field and I want to free your father. You have a wonderful father and as many people all over the world are standing up for justice for him, and you have to be strong, and we send you our love from Australia.
Hello Gabriel and Max, my name is Jasmine Crittenden and I'm here to help free your dad. We're hoping that he'll be out of the prison as soon as possible. Free Julian Assange. In the meantime, stay strong and keep sending good thoughts to him. He loves you and he's thinking about you all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we've got the Honourable Philip Ruddock here.
Hey!
The man who did the anti-terror laws that effectively turned this country into a police state.
Yeah!
Philip Ruddock. There he is.
Do you reckon he's packing heat?
The architect of the anti-terror laws. So they allowed the government to throw anyone in prison they liked. Anyway, folks, Mr. Ruddock, would you like to come and explain what you think about the Assange matter? Please, Mr. Ruddock, come and tell the Australian people what you think about the Assange matter. Please, we will listen to you respectfully. Yeah. There you go. He's doing what politicians do when they're confronted with the truth, and when they're confronted with discussion, they resile from it. They're not prepared to discuss the matter. Mr. Ruddock, will you come and tell the Australian people here what you think about Julian Assange being in prison without being charged or tried? You're happy just to throw any Australian in prison, are you, Mr. Ruddock? Isn't that what your anti-terror laws were all about? It's very simple. If we don't have free speech, which gives us access to the truth, we have nothing. We are living in a state of tyranny. Now that's what this misinformation rubbish is all about. The government says, oh, they have to protect us from misinformation. Do they think we're so stupid we don't know what, pardon the French, bullshit is? If we don't have the truth and we don't have free speech, we might as well be living in a gulag, in a technocratic gulag. It's worse. When since digital passports, we're allowing unelected bureaucrats and politicians to control whether we're even allowed to walk out our front door. They bring in the digital money, they can switch off our bank accounts, completely inhibit our ability to do anything, to buy food even. They're already doing these sorts of things all around the world. They're cancelling people, they're confiscating their assets, they're removing their passports. You know, these are very important matters. Human rights are absolutely crucial for the quality of our life and for truth and justice and freedom for all people. And that's why we're here, because Julian Assange is a lightning rod for this issue. And that's why we believe they want to destroy him. They want to silence people discussing things they don't want discussed. It's very simple. We want Mr. Albanese to do the right thing. We are here trying to do the right thing because we see someone being cruelly and very unjustly and wrongfully treated. That's why we're here. We're trying to do the right thing by a fellow citizen. And if it wasn't him, it could be you. So just remember, you have to stand up to protect our fellow citizens. And we have to stand up to protect our fellow citizens all around the world.
We're missing our friend. We're missing Tony Wakeham tonight. He had a medical procedure he had to attend to. But I've received a message to say that he's doing great, but he wasn't allowed to come tonight. He organised the choir, which was just wonderful. So thank you, Tony. Get well. You had an operation on your leg last week and you still turned up, as you do every week for years. So get well, Tony. Thank you.
I'm telling you, this gentleman's doing nothing wrong.
We are all Assange.